Good day, everyone. This is your host, MJ, for the Golden Power Couple, along with my lovely co host, Miss Angie. How are you?
Hello, I'm wonderful. Thanks for
Good.
asking.
I hope all you seniors and all you people who listen to the Golden Power Couple, the people who are now gaining, listeners and watching, and hopefully you all are enjoying what we're offering here. Take a look at the health of seniors and my background real quick again. If you haven't seen our other episodes, is that I'm a nationally accredited personal trainer. Angie is a nurse of more than 40 years of service, along with
Oh, my hypnotherapy and my aromatherapy, and also just being a overall health and wellness coach.
I'm also a corrective exercise specialist and a nutrition coach, which means I will tell you to not overdo it on the cookies,
Mm,
which we all tend to
mm,
do. Everybody
mm,
tends to do, especially
sure.
around Christmas time. I remember my mother used to make tins and tins. We're talking these big, like if you remember the Charles Chips containers, like these big. Oh, she made a ton of cookies. They were good. They were good. So, but enough about cookies. So,
Hmm.
unless you get the cookies on your computer, which I hate those. Uh, the first episode we talked about just introducing ourselves. Second episode, we talked about doing some neck exercises for upper cross syndrome. We're going to continue on that path of upper cross syndrome and talk more as we move down the body, going toward the shoulders. And one of the things that I can tell you that I have been in weightlifting and doing this for many years just on my own,
Mm.
but shoulders was not one of my big concerns. It was always the big boys, the chest, the legs, the arms, especially when you're in your 20s, it's whatever attracts the girls. That's what, right?
Oh, okay.
So,
Right.
so
Well, the shoulders are good for that part. If you, again, you're into the weightlifting and you're into a certain physique, but just overall, if you're doing normal, natural things in the shoulders, that's the most mobile part of the body. Some people, especially weightlifters and things, oh, I dislocated my shoulder. You'll hear that a lot. So with that part of the body, because it has so many different movements, from the rotation, flexion, extension and all that stuff, it's easy to injure. So you have to be careful. And we use our arms and the shoulder again with the muscles, the scapular, your biceps, well, the biceps are down here, but your brachial areas and things like that. Or you have all these large muscles and all these areas that we need every day. If you're in school raising your hands or you're lifting things, you're carrying things, you even just walking, proper movement and stuff, so you do have to be careful.
you know who always has good shoulders and is somebody that it's not one single person, always the basketball players. If you look at
Mhm.
the basketball players, because 'cause they're
Yes.
always doing the
Right,
so
that
up there,
movement.
always doing
Yeah.
that arms,
Oh, yeah.
movement,
And they
and
probably have more problems with it too, over that repetitious movement
I'm
because they're
sure.
doing it way more than us, but they have developed, right, those
Right.
muscles. Yes, you're
Right.
right, you're
You know,
right.
somebody who was built like a linebacker is LeBron James. He's got these
Yeah.
shoulders rounded like like he's glued two mini basketballs to his sides.
Right, right.
You
But
know, so
the muscles in that area though is overuse like that. You got to develop the core and the supporting area muscles too to help with that. Don't just let it all depend on a couple of muscles, you want to make sure that it stays supportive. But yeah.
so you folks out there listening, the seniors and such like that, we're not going to get you LeBron James shoulders. Sorry, that ain't going to happen. But and frankly, you don't want those. One of the things with shoulders, though, you do want to be careful of, and because it is such a small muscle, like I said, I didn't do too much with shoulders when in my weightlifting days, my younger days, but you didn't want to do too much to begin with. You always wanted to keep that so it's very small muscle, so just keep things very simple, very confined on that, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. Again, if you overdo something, and he was, as MJ was saying, with certain sports, and you're overemphasizing, and the rest of the body, the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments, everything's got to get involved. And like I'm always going to stress, the body is wonderful and being smart and in survival mode, and it will compensate But again, you don't wanna do unnecessary injury because you overextended yourself, because you do need your shoulders to help you in just day-to-day activities.
So we're going to get into some things with the shoulders. One of those things is how we do these exercises and things. And what we want to start off with, yes, we can go with weights and stuff like that, and that'd be in a future podcast that will do that.
Oh, yeah.
But one of the things I want to, because you're basically what we're doing, we're starting here. We want you to start, and we want you to get acclimated
It's a
to,
gradual
yeah,
start,
right.
you're not gonna you gotta crawl before you can run and fly and all that other stuff, so it's baby steps.
So one of the things that we want to talk about is we're going to do some shoulder exercises without weights. I'll show you those. We'll have some videos overlaying on our podcast. If you're on Apple and you're only listening, we'll still describe it for you. Um, One of those things that we want to break down, though, is how the shoulders move and how the joints move. There is ways of when you move your shoulders and you move out, it's moving away from your body. So that's abduction. And that's where, so when I'm going to say what you're going to abduct the shoulders, you're going to move it away from your body. Adduction, you add it back to your body. So that's one of those. You have an extension, you're going to extend out. So you're extending your arms and then you bring them back in. So those are a couple of the tips in the range of shoulders and such. I've never had any kind of we were talking about shoulder injuries. I've
Right,
never had
right,
any shoulder injuries. Believe it or
right.
not, all the aches, pains, and everything I got, I've never really had a shoulder injury. Have you?
Which is surprising because you played hockey, and I know with that whole swinging the stick and
Yeah.
even golfing and all that stuff. But, no, knock on wood, as much as I love sports and playing volleyball and basketball, and I never really played that competitive, college level. But the thing is that you, in your everyday, as you're lifting and reaching for stuff, women, as we're carrying those heavy bags, children with the backpacks on their back, it also affects their shoulder. So the good thing with the shoulder, because again, we spoke about dislocated shoulder, you have that rotator cuff that's there. So just making sure you have that nice movement that goes around too, that it does not become stationary and stiff. You
Mm.
want to still maintain that free extension that you're able to kind of move that arm back. Besides, like MJ said, you're doing abduction and what did you say? You
Adduction,
didn't do flexion,
extension, flexion,
flexion,
flexion. Yeah,
right?
flexion.
Okay, but you just want to make sure those movements don't become rigid and stiff. You still want that flexibility, the use of them.
One of the wonderful things about the shoulder is it has the rotator cuff, and you can actually move that in a rotation device. It's the arguably the only muscle that can do that, and so uh, that's why it's important too. You get your trapezius muscles and levator muscles. Anyway, um, so with the shoulders and with those exercises, I never had any things, but that it extends down to the lower back, the teres minor and everything start or the upper back rather, and that extends down to that. So when you do these shoulder exercises, it really is kind of a shoulder exercise plus a upper back exercise.
Alright, the body wants to be one unit. So, as they said, you cut off the head to despite the nose or whatever, but you still uniform.
Mhm.
So you want everything to be supportive and to work together. You don't wanna put extra strain on, say, your pecs, right? Your
Yeah.
your chest because of the shoulder, and then you have your scapula, your back, your wings and
Mm.
back there. You want everything to move freely and work together. That's what keeps the body functioning, as a whole,
Right.
as a whole.
And we you seniors, we know that you're going to have some experience some shoulder problems, and that's why we're here to help you and to do that for you. So let's get started on the shoulder exercises.
And
Um,
remember, consult your doctor. Do not overstress any part. If you have limitations, please, please, please start off slow. no rapid movement. If you have to do be careful with that Bengay and those whole, what is the other one? Bengay is such an old one, but they have the freeze and they use
Uh,
all these creams just to soften up. Yes, we want you
Salon Pass is one,
to be loose and be flexible, but also naturally with your breathing and stretching, okay? Can't, put down stretching. So these are good stretches. And as MJ said before, if you add weights to it, then it becomes a little bit, more of the toning of the muscles and things.
and that's another disclaimer that we need to, of course, if you feel any pain or anything like that, talk to your doctor. Stop, talk to your doctor. One of the other things too is that when you're going to start your shoulders, and we just did some neck exercises that were kind of some stretching exercises. These are also stretching exercises. They're going to be for your shoulders without weights. But when you start doing this regularly, and we'll start putting plans together and moving that in there as we go on in this show, not this episode, but in
Yeah.
future shows, that we we'll put together a warm up plan for you and, gravitate toward that, get you a little bit on the treadmill or at least walking, and such like that. One of the things of walking, if you do go to the gym, if you want to do on the cardio and everything, we can get into that later. 5 to 10 minutes is a good warm up. It's a good right off the start before you
Right.
even start any kind of
Mhm.
exercise. So, good 5 to 10 minutes on the cardio, on the treadmill or something like that. And you know what, I have a car that I like to park in Never Never Land. Get a few extra steps in, what the heck, why not?
Right.
Of course, if
But
it's
now
pouring rain, then maybe not,
to
but
go back to the whole shoulder stuff, and you are walking and you're getting kinda, your steps in a little cardiac, move those arms, move the shoulders. There's nothing wrong with swinging the arms and doing some because that's I definitely do. I'll do the like a Batman type of movement, or if you're doing jumping jacks or doing again, rotating the arms, that's wonderful, wonderful as you're walking and you're doing cardio and things like that. It doesn't just have to be about your legs. Pump them arms,
Mhm.
do the shoulder rotate, all kinds of stuff. But we'll take it step by step and back over to MJ to actually demonstrate the skill
And if you
of
wanna go to the
walking.
if you wanna go to the park like, Angie says, then go to the park. Actually, which segues right into what we did, as I go into these shoulder exercises, if you have it on YouTube or Spotify video, you will see me, we did some of these a couple of these shoulder exercises up at the park, up at the street, from us. So, we encourage that you get outside and outdoors despite the heat if it's summer, and we will full disclaimer, we live in Florida, so it gets, a little toasty, where it's, June, July, August, September, October. Do I carry on any further?
No, let it go. Get to your because the heat doesn't bother me, so I came to Florida for the weather. I don't complain. I like being out in nature, to help to relax, to smell the smells and also vitamin D from the sun, which we need. That helps with the body and the bones, the muscles, and everything. So, yes, continue, please.
And if you can get vitamin D on suntan lotion, right, the sunscreen, make sure you put that on too if you're out at the park.
True,
So
true. Okay.
So one of the things we talked about, we had the prone cobra that we did in the our other episode, and so that actually we did that was for the neck, but that actually works part of the shoulders too. So you're see how we're moving down? We're moving down
It's
the
all
body. So
connected.
so
Yes.
we're going to do that. If you want to do those floor cobras and continue doing those, check out our latest video or last pod that we did, and you can do that. So what we want to do is you can do that. Also, the cobra we talked about doing in a reverse on a chair. You can do that standing cobra. What we're going to do is, and this is start off with, is the what's called the IYT exercise. So you're going to lay down on the floor again, like as if you were doing the floor cobra. What you're going to do is extend your arms out, okay, and then hold that with your thumbs up on that. So when you extend your arms out, you're gonna go up and you're gonna go into a Y position. Okay, move your uh
Almost like you're stretching,
right.
Saran wrap or something. You're separate.
I
You're
like that.
pulling it.
That's good.
Well, imagine you have a rubber band in your hand, and you're separating. You're pulling it apart.
Mhm. Which is another exercise. You
The
can do that with
stretch.
a band, so you can do
Okay.
that. And then go into a T. So your body is gonna form a T. When you do that, um, go back to your, extension again, back to your I position. You're gonna go to your Y, and you go to the T. Work yourself up, hold those for 5 seconds, 2 seconds, 3 seconds
Continue to
each.
breathe.
Continue to breathe, then go to the Y, 3 seconds, then go to the T in 3 seconds. Come back, do it again. If you start off with 3 times, then, you can probably stop after a week, then go, the next 2 weeks, um, go and then if you wanna add more, if you feel comfortable adding more. Now, one of the great things about this exercise also is the fact that you can do it standing up as well. You're gonna do your I, it'll be just raising your hands up in the air, do a Y like you're stretching and you just woke up after, 12 hours sleep, which is kind of a Rip Van Winklish way. I don't know how many people sleep 12 hours now. Then go to your T. So then go to your T. So, the next one
I mean,
yeah.
I like the whole stretch of the diaphragm. So if you are doing your breathing in that type of exercise, that'll be a good time to really take a good cleansing breath as you just open up and you're expanding
Mhm.
your arms, you let the wings spread. So continue when you feel each movement, stay in tune to what your body, your breaths, and everything is doing at that time.
When you said take a deep breath, when we take another look at it, you can talk about, Angie, some aromas that you might find out in the park, anything like that,
Yeah.
or at
Yeah.
home with aromatherapy, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, you could continue
Oh,
with your I'm
okay.
gonna stay on focus because I can add that later on.
Oh, so, the next one we're gonna do is what's called wall angels. You can do this against a wall. If you see the video, or at the par a good pole is a good thing, as long as you can keep your back and your butt and your, heels rigid, then you can do that. In fact, I actually suggest the pole because wall angels, you get maybe too close to the wall, you start scraping your arm against the wall. We don't wanna do that. We don't wanna leave a mark.
And again, you want proper body alignment. So sometimes it's that imaginary that you're on this stick.
Mhm,
So you keep that focus, that straight down your center. You have your back, your shoulders, and everything. Of course, your abdomen. You got to keep that tucked in too. So
mm.
everything is going to be straight with your head at the normal length, total body alignment, and shoulders back like MJ said, then you feel your butt pressed against that flat back object and the heels also. So the whole lining of your body will be against that uh, solid foundation there.
So again, now you're going to stand against the pole. You're going to stand with your body rigid. And what you're going to do is called military presses, basically. And what you're going to do is you've probably seen them in the 50s. The old guys, they just bring their arms up and bring them down, bring them up and bring them down. That is just a basic press without weights. Well, we can add weights later on. You can add like, 5-pound dumbbells, then 10-pound dumbbells, all the
As
way
you're
up to,
going up, you
yeah.
breathe in as they come down, cleansing breath out. And again, everything's in control. Everything is done smooth, no jerky movements. You're still doing your count of three.
Mhm.
Are you doing three?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's more of a fluid movement. I would just do a count of 2, on that. There's the pyramid way. We will talk about that as well later on, with different, exercises and things. Uh, but that would be what you just go up, go up, go down. And you can do another, work your way up, 3 sets and things. You should start feeling it, you know, right on the edges of those shoulders and right where they should be. And it's almost like what the basketball players do is their movement.
Right, right. And again, don't feel like, oh, that's something simple. If you're at that level that's more advanced, add the weights. If you're not, then believe me, I had practiced a little Tai Chi and you're not holding anything. It's just slow movement. So any movement you do, that resistance, that flow, the muscles respond to it. Okay. So don't push yourself to say, well, yeah, it looks like he's doing
Mhm.
chin-ups or whatever, and I gotta add some weights, no, don't feel like that.
Right, right. So, and those are just 2 exercises off the bat right there, plus you still add your floor cobra in there. So you essentially have now we've done in our episodes, if you're listening, we've done the 3, exercises that we've done, and, so now you're starting to build, and we're gonna start building toward a, nice program
Mhm.
for you.
Starting off slow.
Right.
We won't wanna lose you.
No, no, and the grandkids don't wanna lose you either. So, uh,
Any movement is good movement, as
yep,
long as it's done again correctly.
indeed, indeed. But that's basically it for this episode. And, you have anything else to add?
No, that's it. Just please stay in tune because we care about spreading the knowledge we have with you, our listening or viewing audience. And we always want you to have that health in mind with peace and blessings from us.
So if you're listening to us on Spotify or watching us on YouTube or watching us on Spotify, listening to us on Apple Podcasts, go ahead and hit the subscribe. We're planning on being here every week. We probably will be, getting up new episodes weekly. And also feel free to leave a comment. If you want to leave a comment, you can. If you want to email us, again, it's boldpowercouple@gmail.com. And, I think that is a good one, right?
Okay, that
We're gonna
sounds
wrap.
good.
All right.
All right.
You have fun, everybody, and remember those exercises, and, we will see you later.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.